your acting religious education coordinator. I am so glad you all could attend our special animal blessing service this morning. Whether you are joining us here in the church parking lot or on Zoom, we welcome you. I especially want to welcome any visitors or newcomers. If you're new to our congregation, please stop by the check-in table to fill out a newcomer form, or if you're attending online, just click the link in the chat. Other links in the chat include today's order of service and our YouTube channel where service recordings are posted. We especially want to welcome any families with children. You can see me after the service for information about our outdoor religious education programs for children and youth, or if you're online, just click the link in the chat window. For those of you on Zoom, automated closed captioning is available if you would find it helpful. Just click on live transcript at the bottom of your screen and then show subtitles. If you brought a pet today, and I see several, please be sure to stay until the end of the service when Reverend Kim and Sabrina will do individual blessings for your beloved companions. And one more reminder for those of you who are joining us in the parking lot in person today, the church building is closed, the front door will remain locked, but bathrooms are available if needed by entering at the back of the church near the kitchen. Please be sure to keep your mask on and maintain 6-foot social distancing this morning. We really appreciate your efforts to protect the most vulnerable in our community, including our children and immunocompromised individuals. And to that end, during hymns today, we ask that you hum instead of singing out, as this is another important way to reduce potential COVID-19 transmission. We also ask that you please not congregate in the parking lot after the service ends. Thank you so much for your understanding and welcome back to church. One last announcement this morning. We are looking for volunteers to help with our new live streaming system under the guidance of our new AV technician, Mo. Let's have a round of applause for Mo. Folks in this tech team will assist with Sunday service live streams and other tech needs. No experience needed, just willingness to learn, and I promise it will be a lot of fun. For more details or to sign up, just see this week's e-news. And now, since one of the important aspects of worship is being present in community, we invite you to continue this moment of welcome by turning and waving to each other. If you're online, just switch to gallery view and turn on your webcams. If you're here in person, stay where you are, but turn and wave. Oh, and also, if you brought a photo or a memento of a beloved pet who has passed on, feel free to come up now and place that photo or item on our altar here. So good to see you all this morning. Welcome to this religious community where we affirm the dignity and freedom of all who enter. Here we seek to live together in relationship and respect, so that we may embrace and celebrate our differences. Our religious values invite us to a shared journey of truth and meaning. Sincerity and connection guide our religious community and call us into deeper association with ourselves and our world. Welcome. We are glad that you are part of our community this morning. Now, please enjoy our prelude, The Nightingale in Love by Francois Couperin, performed by our organist, Earl Baylor.
And I serve this congregation as your minister. I have to say, when you get to have church with dogs, it's the best job ever. It is so good to be with you today. Our theme of the month is cultivating relationship. Today, we are celebrating our relationship with animals. Our opening words come from the poet Denise Levertov. Come into animal presence. Come into animal presence. No man is so guileless as the serpent. The lonely white rabbit on the roof is a star twitching its ears at the rain. The llama intricately folding its hind legs to be seated, not disdains, but mildly disregards human approval. What joy when the insouciant armadillo glances at us and doesn't quicken his trotting across the track and into the palm brush. What is this joy? That no animal falters, but knows what it must do. That the snake has no blemish, that the rabbit inspects his strange surroundings in white star silence. The llama rests in dignity. The armadillo has some intention to pursue in the palm forest. Those who were sacred have remained so. Holiness does not dissolve. It is a presence of bronze. Only the sight that saw it faltered and turned from it. An old joy returns in holy presence. Come, let us worship together. Please join in our hymn of the month for October, number 145, as Tranquil Streams. For those of you in person, please hum along. If you're online, feel free to sing out.
Streams that lead and merge and flow as one to see the sea. Our different hearts and minds unite to build a church that shall be free. Free from love of left and the mind to err and lifeless free. Free from a social code that fails to serve the cause of human being. A freedom that reveres the
and fin, for those with legs 2, 4, and more, those high in the sky and on the ocean floor, for those that fly and those that creep, those that sing in the day and awake while we sleep. For all creation, our family, we kindle this fire, to know all of them and each of us have a place in Earth's choir. Our story this morning is adapted from a book called Strictly No Elephants by Lisa Mancha. The trouble with having a tiny elephant for a pet is that you never quite fit in. No one else has a tiny elephant for a pet. Every day, my tiny elephant and I go for a walk. His is a very thoughtful sort of walk. He doesn't like the sidewalk cracks much, so I always go back and help him over. That's what friends do, help each other over the cracks. Today, my tiny elephant and I are heading down to number 17. It's Pet Club Day, and everyone will be there. Come on, I say to my tiny elephant. It'll be okay, let's go. But when we get there, a sign on the door says, strictly no elephants. What do you think that means? Strictly no elephants. Yeah, what does that mean? No elephants allowed. Wow, how do you think that makes me and my tiny elephant feel? Sad, yeah. I agree, yeah. Yeah. Wonder what we can do about that. I think we'll find out in the second part of our story in a little while.
Good morning. My name is Sabrina, and I'm the ministerial intern for this year. Pronouns are they, them. One of the ways that we connect with one another and build relationships is through the weekly sharing of our joys and concerns. This week, we celebrate with Charles and Gillian Deal on the birth of their second grandson, Raymond Jack Koenig, who was born August 22nd, 2021. He is healthy, growing fast, and ready to be spoiled by grandparents. And now I invite you in a spirit of prayer. This prayer is entitled, We Give Thanks for the Animals, and it's by Reverend Gary Kowalski. We give thanks for the animals who live close to nature, who remind us of the sanctities of birth and death, who do not trouble their lives with foreboding or grief, who let go each moment as it passes and accept each new one as it comes with serenity and grace. Enable us to walk in beauty as they do, at one with the turning seasons, welcoming the sunrise, and at peace with the sunset. And as we hallow the memory of good friends now departed, who loved abundantly, and in their time were loved, who freely gave us their affection and loyalty, let us not be anxious for tomorrow, but ask only that kindness and gratitude fill our hearts day by day into the passing years.
Ven hacia mí y al corazón atale tu compasión la justicia de la vida. De amor, ven a mí, ven a mí.
You remember where we left off in our story? My tiny elephant and I had just found out that we weren't welcome at the pet club meeting. So my tiny elephant led me back to the sidewalk, never minding the cracks. That's what friends do, brave the scary things for you.
Did you try to go to the pet club meeting too?
Yes, but they don't allow elephants.
The sign didn't mention us, but they don't want us either.
They just don't know any better.
We don't really smell, you know.
I know, you don't. I have an idea. What if we start our own club? Come on, say to my tiny pet elephant and my new friends. And I make sure they're following me. That's what friends do. Never leave anyone behind. And then we paint our own sign. It says, all are welcome. Are elephants welcome in our club? Yeah. Are skunks welcome in our club? Are penguins welcome in our club? Yeah. Are possums welcome in our club? Yeah, how about foxes? Are they welcome in our club? And jellyfish? And owls? And unicorns? Are unicorns welcome in our club? Yeah, anybody else have a friend? Oh, and round puppies and kitties? Are they welcome in our club? Yeah, everyone is welcome in our club. And if you ever want to join us, my tiny elephant can give you directions because that's what friends do.
Anybody behind, because that's what friends do. The First Unitarian Church of St. Louis strives to be a welcoming congregation, inspiring lives of loving kindness and integrity by nurturing spirituality, building community, and advancing justice. One of the ways we do that is by sharing the plate. This Sunday, all non-designated contributions will go to Arch City Defenders. Arch City Defenders is a holistic legal advocacy organization that combats the criminalization of poverty and state violence, especially in communities of color. ACD's Foundation of Civil and Criminal Legal Representation, Social Services, Impact Litigation, Policy and Media Advocacy, and Community Collaboration achieves and inspires justice and equitable outcomes for people throughout the St. Louis region and beyond. For more information about Arch City Defenders or for the text to give number, see your order of service. These are uncertain times. Please give generously. This morning's offertory is a hymn recorded by our choir from the Christian tradition. We invite you to follow along with the words in your order of service. To earth is full of wit and wisdom. Tabitha. A gray tabby with white feet and a white face, she is consistently attracted to Zoom meetings. Striding back and forth in front of the camera, smacking me in the face with her tail before settling down elsewhere in the office. As I wrote this homily, she was sitting on my desk, forcing me to move my keyboard and make room for her. You might think that the solution to such disruption would be to close my office door. If you think that, then you forgot the time I did just that, and we were all serenaded in the middle of a sermon with the sad song of a lonely cat stuck on the wrong side of the door. Tabitha is a special needs cat. While a completely normal kitten, at some point she developed an anxiety disorder that makes her hypervigilant, dependent on routine, and mistrusting of anyone other than me. And sometimes she doesn't trust me either. To attempt to pet Tabitha is to take your life into your hands, and I promise you'll bear the scars. And yet, last night, as I sat on the couch, she came over and curled up in my lap, purring softly, trusting for a brief time that she would be safe. To receive the love, affection, or trust of an animal feels like winning the interspecies lottery. You have somehow transcended the barriers of difference and cultivated a relationship. Today, we are celebrating animal blessing, a ritual we inherit from the Catholic tradition. Attributed to St. Francis of Assisi, animal blessings are often observed in proximity to his feast day, October 4th. Our animal blessing celebrates the human-animal relationship. In an interview with U.S. Catholic Magazine, Franciscan Keith Warner explains that St. Francis saw God in all creation, including the wild and the domesticated animals, in the sun and the moon and the elements of the earth. St. Francis is quoted as saying, "If you have men who will exclude any of God's creatures from the shelter of compassion and pity, you will have men who deal likewise with their fellow humans. All creatures have the same source as we have. Like us, they derive the life of thought, love, and will from the Creator. Not to hurt our humble brethren is our first duty to them, but to stop there is a complete misapprehension of the intentions of providence. We have a higher mission. God wishes that we should succor them whenever they require it." In this quote, St. Francis describes an interdependent theology, where our connection to animals is grounded in a universal connection to the divine. Whether you espouse a theistic belief in God, a pagan theology of the divinity of nature, or humanist understanding of the common spark of life, our Unitarian Universalist principles invite us into a relationship with all of creation. One of the ways we do that is through our connection with animals. Educator and animal communicator Tricia McCagg explains, "Animals are the bridge between us and the beauty of all that is natural. They show us what's missing in our lives and how to love ourselves more completely and unconditionally. They connect us back to who we are and to the purpose of why we're here. We are here to live in relationship with ourselves, with each other, and the life of the universe that some call God. This morning's story illustrates that well. In creating a space that would welcome elephants and skunks and owls and penguins and unicorns and round kitties and round puppies and possums, a space was created where all are welcome and relationships are cultivated. In developing relationships with animals, domestic or wild, we understand ourselves better, both as human animals and as part of the greater life of creation. In developing relationships with animals, we nurture an attitude of compassion and care that can extend beyond ourselves to our relationships with other humans. Our bond with animals allows us to connect with our humanity. I'm reminded of a story from the seminal book on trauma and the Body Keeps the Score, by psychiatrist Bessel van der Kolk. A teenage girl with a history of abuse is placed in a residential treatment center after multiple suicide attempts. Van der Kolk describes the situation. Initially, she was mute and withdrawn and became violent when people got too close to her. After other approaches failed to work, she was placed in an equine therapy program where she groomed her horse daily and learned simple dressage. 2 years later, I spoke with her at a high school graduation. She had been accepted to a 4-year college. When I asked her what had helped her most, she answered, "The horse I took care of." She told me that she first started to feel safe with her horse. He was there every day, patiently waiting for her, seemingly glad upon her approach. She started to feel a visceral connection to another creature and began to talk to him like a friend. Gradually, she started talking with the other kids in the program and eventually with her counselor. The act of being in relationship with another creature helped a girl who described herself as worthless and rejected to reconnect with her inherent humanity, her inherent worth. The gentle patience of a horse saved her life. Some might call such a connection divine. Today, we celebrate the interconnected web of all existence as it is reflected by the human-animal connection. Our lives are fuller when we cultivate relationships, even with anxious tabby cats. In blessing our animals, we commit once more to the holiness found in relationships, knowing that our bond with animals is part of what makes us and keeps us human. I think that's an amen in dog language. I close with these words from a Franciscan blessing. The animals of creation inhabit the skies, the earth, and the sea. They share in the ways of human beings. They have a part in our lives. Francis of Assisi recognized this when he called the animals wild and tame, his brothers and sisters. Remembering Francis's love for these siblings of ours, we invoke a blessing on these animals, and we give thanks to share the earth with all the creatures. Amen. Blessed be. Please join in our closing hymn, Number 203, all creatures of the earth and sky, hung here in our presence together, sing out if you are online. As our ways of gathering are adapting and changing, so too is it time to change our closing words. Today, the benediction comes from the Reverend Peter Fredericks. We bless our animals today, but in doing so, we are reminded that we are blessed by them, by their presence in our lives. We are bound to them in a spiraling, circling dance of affection and relationship. The more we give, the more we get. The more we share, the more we have. Such is the law of love. Amen, and blessed be. Mo is going to play our closing prelude, or postlude, excuse me. Going to play our postlude. Remember, if you brought a pet to be blessed today, pets of all kinds, live, stuffed, remain till after the postlude, and Sabrina and I will invite you forward to bless your animals. As the ushers escort you out, please remember to come forward and maintain social distance. For those of you online, if you wait in the main room, I'll join you afterwards to virtually bless any pets attending on Zoom. or electrical cords.